fire her up. Listen to that V12. Oh. That isn't good. Could be nothing. Let's put in gear here. Nope, that's not normal. That's definitely not normal. That's not good. In fact, my foot is solidly not on the gas pedal. And it's doing that. I think I have to fix it. Let's fix it together. Still drives!
And stops!
And it stops. Okay, so let's see what we have for fault codes, because I bet we have some. Oh, yes we do. Okay, M16/6R1. We have a throttle body failure. There's potentiometers in there, they're sliding around, and they're not working properly. So that's not great. So today, we're going to be doing a throttle body replacement. Lucky me. Alright, so on this car, where are the throttle bodies? Well, there's only one of them, thankfully, but it is quite unfortunately under an awful lot of plastic covers, and it's right about here. So we're going to have to take all that off, and then I'll show you how to get to it. Alright, so now we can very clearly see the throttle body. It's this unit right here. This thing has failed. Unfortunately for us, in this particular case, we got the wide charge pipe. It's connected to both of our intercoolers, and this will not come out with either of these in place. And so unfortunately for me, I'm gonna have to unbolt those and move them out of the way. So I think what happened with this particular car is because it sat for so long, it was sitting for over a year, and looking at this throttle body, I do see signs of evidence of moisture, and I think that in general, I suspect we're gonna find some corrosion inside. That's my hypothesis. We're going to find out when we open it up a little bit later, but it's just a guess. We'll see how we do. Turns out you let a $100,000, basically supercar, sit around in a driveway outside without running it for a year. It doesn't do anything good for it. It's one of the challenges of buying project cars, but this car has a story, and for $3 grand, it was absolutely worth it. Okay, so with both the air boxes out, we can now get a pretty good look at what we're working with. Right here, we have the two intercoolers. They're held in with yet more inverted hex bolts, which Mercedes just does love so much. We have a lot more space to work, but as you can see, my hypothesis is proving correct. Notice all this lovely corrosion on the aluminum. You only get this stuff when the car sits, and this car is sat. If we look down the hole here, we can actually start to see the top of the turbos. One on each bank of cylinders. And actually, you know, despite the size of the engine, this car isn't so bad to work on. I mean, yeah, it's tight. It's not an easy vehicle to work on. There's a lot going on in here, but it is well laid out. It is well thought out. Everything goes in its place. So let's crack on, and we'll take on the intercoolers and move them out of the way. And yet another not so great discovery. Notice that right there? Got a little black mark going on. Yeah, that vacuum hose is totally perished. That one's totally failed. I'm not entirely sure what that one does, but we're definitely going to fix it for good measure, because that's never a good thing. Alright, just unbolt everything attached to it. We should be able to slide it out of the way ever so slightly. We don't need to move it a whole lot. And I definitely don't want to disconnect any of these other lines, because if I do that, then I have to reprime the entire intercooler system. And let me tell you, that's not a job I want to do today, or ever, at all. Oh, one more. Try to take this off without breaking any more vacuum hoses. Sometimes fate is really cruel. And sometimes when you say you're not going to break any more vacuum hoses, well, this happens. Hopefully. And I broke a vacuum hose. Because of course I did. Alright, so sit rep. Good news, we have the intercooler off. Bad news, might have slightly busted off my map sensor, which is now, as you can see, totally busted off. Less good. Good news, a lot more access. We'll soon be able to get down where we need to get down to on the throttle body. But I made a slight oopsie. I'm gonna call around, see if I can find a replacement in town. Okay, as you might expect, turns out nobody in small town America has a map sensor for a 2003 Cl600. But good news, Mercedes uses the same part for everything, and so I managed to scrounge one out of my ML320. That part I'm holding? That's a map sensor. That part I broke? It's not a map sensor. Turns out I broke a turbo boost sensor. They look very similar, but unfortunately I'm going to say map sensor throughout the episode, and I'm totally dead wrong. It's a turbo sensor. Which, for the while, will just sit where it's at, and I'll order another one for it. But we'll press on. Luckily this side does not have a map sensor on it, so hopefully, crossing our fingers, I'm going to be a whole lot less likely to break something. That one's gonna be fun to put back. All right, moment of truth. Let's see if I can lift this off without busting anything else off. And survey says it's on there a lot tighter than the other side. That's what it says. Ah, brilliant. Okay, so that's now loose and moving. That's moving, and all right, fantastic. Good news, the charge pipe is now off, which means we can now get in here and take a good look at the throttle body. And here it is. That right there is in fact the offending unit. Simple little plug right here. Should just pop off, and it does. And a couple of bolts, and this unit should come right on out of there. We'll take a look at it. All right, can we get it out of there? Yes, we can. And look at that. One slightly grungy, slightly oxidized throttle body. Let's take a look inside it. Alright, so you might remember that we had an issue with potentiometers. Let's actually show you where those potentiometers are on this thing. So underneath this cover, which is looking really rusty and crusty on this particular unit, we're going to find our pots. I'm just going to pop these clips off if I can. One out of the way. This one's a little bit stickier. There's another one. There goes one. Luckily, I don't need it anymore. All right, moment of truth. Let's see what we got inside here. If I can get it open. Pop. Pop a little bit. Oh yeah. Okay. So we can see inside of here. There's the motors that drive the throttle body, and we You can actually see the potentiometers. Those black tracks right there. And those inner ones look a little bit worn. I gotta say, this one's got some mileage on it. I have a feeling that's our problem. Good news, I've already went ahead and bought a replacement unit. It's used. It should work a lot better. It's also, according to the date code, 7 years newer, which is a good sign. Let's put it in. So while this one was pulled from a newer model, the good news is Mercedes used basically the same engine for quite a few years. So I don't expect any issues with this particular one. And it looks identical. The part numbers are exactly the same. And frankly, hopefully we just shouldn't immediately go 3,000 RPMs and surge. Good sign. We'll put it together, we'll see how we go. Satisfying click. All right, that was a good sound. Good news. We've got everything plumbed back up, put in a few more bolts, tighten up all the hose clamps, and put back on the map sensor. Let's see if she runs. Next big moment, will this ML320 map sensor fit a Cl600? Will it fit? You bet, an ML320 map sensor does fit. Does it work? No. No, it doesn't. Worth a shot. Let's see if it throws a code when we start it. The air filter's back in. This one's a little trickier. There's a few more hoses on the bottom side, which are very greasy and very down there. And that, my friends, is a completed M275 engine bay. So everything is now back together. Haven't put on the beauty panels yet. Our new throttle body's sitting right there, which is lovely and wonderful, and underneath that lovely Y pipe. Now the question, of course, is, we go to start it, what's going to happen? Let's find out. All right, moment of truth. Here we go. No check engine light. We have an idle. Let's give it a little rev. All right. Let's see how she runs. Okay, so here we are 2 days later. Turns out the sensor I borrowed from my Mercedes ML is actually a map sensor, and the part I actually broke earlier is in fact a turbo boost sensor. It's this part. This is the new one. Just showed up in the mail, and so we're going to go back. We're going to take the one that I put in there from the ML and put this one in there, and hopefully it should fix the issues. All right, let's get this thing out of here. Take it for a drive. All right, it's starting to get dark. We're gonna give this one shot. We'll see how she pulls. Should pull a lot better than it did last time. That's the hope. Then we'll go back, check it on the computer, see how she scans out. All right. Yep, that's better. Okay, so it's the next morning. I fiddled with the computer. It's 30 degrees out. Should run a lot better. Let's find out. Whoa! Yeah, it's better, 60. That's a lot better. Okay. It's definitely better than it was before. Turns out that old throttle body was definitely hampered performance. This one, oh yeah, this one's better. This one's much better. Thanks for watching.